and now someday got mud on your face, a big disgrace, slipping on it all over the place,
saying Jojo,
Jojo Rabbit.
That was good. That was really good. It's gonna be downhill from there.
Yeah.
First of all, dude, what an honor, man. I've always wanted
Thanks.
to meet you, so I'm a big fan.
Nice to meet you.
I was wondering if you could just take me to those first few board meetings where you got to sit in a conference room full of studio executives and pitch this movie. What was the most interesting reaction you got out of someone, specifically when you used the phrase "and his imaginary friend Hitler"?
Yeah, this is the reaction you get.
Is that a...
I didn't actually end up pitching the film, to be honest, because I already knew that it was a hard thing to try and sell in a room, and when I wrote the script in 2011, I guess I didn't really feel like it was... the kind of film that a lot of studios would really even want to make at the time, and so I actually put it on ice for about 6 years. I went off and made 3 other movies and then came back to it, and that's when Searchlight jumped on board and they wanted to make it. But essentially I didn't pitch the film at all. I just wrote the script and sent the script around, and I said, the script is the pitch.
Yeah, fair enough. I know that initially you weren't going to play Hitler, and you guys were going after some, what I read were A-list actors to try to get them to play the role, and everyone turned it down, so you ended up playing Hitler. Can you tell me
Sort of.
Can you tell me who you guys pitched
Nah.
to play? Were they big, like really big people?
I'll tell you what, I'm sure you can imagine, because the A-list is a very short list.
Right. It was Tom Hanks, wasn't it?
Was he on that list?
That would be amazing.
No,
I kind of really want to see Tom Hanks play Hitler.
No, actually what happened was we sent the script around to different agencies. We said, who are your recommendations? Yeah, why don't we have a conversation, because we don't really know who we want. And as those conversations started, that's when Jermaine and I got the financing for What We Do in the Shadows. And so I put this one away, and I went back to New Zealand and made that, and then made 2 other movies.
I was wondering, obviously, whenever you're the director on set, but you still have to be dressed as him, what was the weirdest, most surreal moment that you had when you're trying to be a normal person, you're trying to be a director, you're trying to talk to people, and then you kind of pause and remember, like, I'm dressed as this guy?
Yeah. So that happened. Now and then it would happen just with me trying to give direction, and I'd say, like, okay, so can you do this and this, and then sometimes I just remember that I was dressed like that and had the moustache and the haircut and everything, and yeah, I think the actors could see through past that and have a conversation, but it's more a self-conscious thing for me.
Right.
I just realized, oh man, I'm just dressed like this.
Yeah, because then you can't even like really get angry. Not that you would get angry, but you can't really get angry because not only are you angry, you're angry.
Well, I did get a little angry at one point. At one point I got frustrated with something that was happening. I think it was like the day was going slow or something was happening. I remember just like having a little, just like a little kind of, this is not going right, and realised I was dressed as Hitler when I did that, and that's not something you can really do.
For sure. And really quick, as we're wrapping up, I remember when this trailer first came out, a lot of people started having that conversation of, well, has enough time passed so that we can, make this a satire? Has enough time passed that we can laugh at Nazis and everything that happened? But then I was thinking about, like, Charlie Chaplin made fun of Hitler in the middle of World War II. I think it was 1940.
It's 80 years ago this year.
I'm curious, you are a man of comedy. You know this better than anybody. Is there a time frame on when we can start laughing at something?
I think it's different for every subject, really. If it's like a person who, if it's to do with like a lot of people being hurt or like a great deal of pain, there's certain things that you shouldn't be laughing at. Like I like with this film, I like to think that we're laughing at Nazis or at fascism, and we're trying to poke holes and make fun of these these doctrines and these ideas that float around that we're still seeing today. But I don't think it's ever really appropriate to make jokes about people's loss, about the loss of many lives and pain that the cultural groups of any culture experience.
Yeah. Well, the movie is an absolute masterpiece, and seriously, thank you so much for your time, man.
Cheers.
It really is an honor. Thanks so much, man. I think that's actually one of my favorite plot devices in a long time, is having Hitler represent this 10-year-old sort of imagination and his evolution of the thoughts on being a Nazi. If you guys could have any historical figure be your imaginary friend, follow you around, talk to you, give you life advice, what historical figure would you want to follow you around?
Oh my gosh, they have to give you life advice too?
Yes.
It has to be an historical figure?
A historical figure.
No.
Oh,
That's crazy. Who?
Charlie Chaplin. That'd be quite cool.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
Because it'd be also so
Cigarettes.
amusing.
Yeah,
and he'd like walk around with it. Yeah, he'd like
Charlie
waddle
Chaplin.
around. Ooh, that's a
Charlie
good one.
Chaplin,
Oh my gosh, an historical figure? Who could it be? I'm trying to think. Like Winston Churchill or something.
Just sitting there with his cigar and his
He
brandy.
seems pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I'll
Like
take
his
Winston Churchill.
advice on,
Like
do you
everything.
do Black Widow? As he's like puffing out his cigar.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
like
think, yeah, he seemed like a sophisticated and interesting man.
That's a fun one.
Maybe Ben Franklin. He also seemed pretty cool.
That's a good one too.
I don't know, like Frida Kahlo or Audrey Hepburn or something.
Oh, that's
Ooh, you're going with it.
Oh.
Or, yeah, they can kind of help you make like artistic
Yeah,
decisions.
Frida Kahlo can help me make decisions about my eyebrows on that day.
She said, just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it
How'd
go.
I end up with Ben Franklin like in the bathtub?
Might be
Yeah.
very-
He's got
like-
Charlie Chaplin waddling around. She's got Frida.
What about like an artist, kind of?
Oh,
That'd be quite fun.
I like this.
I'm Leonardo da Vinci. What do you like, a romane?
Wow, you could be getting spaghetti with Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah. So what is this? This is awful. When I was in 1400s, blah blah blah, we had better lie. Oh, sorry. Something kind of Russian. Oh, sorry.
This is like
That
the
was
best
a
joke ever.
class in accent work, by
Yes,
the way.
that was done. Study that. I would imagine because Taika is obviously both the director and plays Hitler, that off camera he had to sort of have some conversations with you guys about the film and just casual conversations while in the full Hitler garb. Is it weird to have a casual conversation with someone just about your day or the game last night or whatever the case may be while the guy is dressed as Hitler?
Yeah, I had a lot of strange moments like that with him, which he probably wouldn't even want me to share them. But
Well, now I really want to know.
yeah, he. I mean, I know it must have been much harder for him because I think you have moments of like reflection where you, you know, you in your mind you're you know, enacting with people as your day goes on, and then you catch sight of yourself in the mirror, and you probably think, I can't believe people have been communicating with me, and
Right.
this is how I look. Yeah, you feel suddenly really self-conscious. So being self-conscious is awful. But I think, you know, we're like so used to probably seeing all actors in various states of like getting ready and
Yeah.
undress and
Motion
weird stuff
capture
in their
scenes,
hair.
yeah.
I mean, if I've spent so much time talking to Mark Ruffalo when he wears his man canceling suit. So yeah, I think we're kind of numb to it at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair enough. And also,
What I remember most about the costumes is that it was boiling hot on set. We were filming during like the middle of Prague summer, and the studios we were filming in Barrandov Studios, so they were quite old and the air conditioning wasn't the best. So I remember Taika, everyone was sweating buckets, but Taika in his thick uniform, he had to take it off and he had his fat suit underneath, so he'd be walking around directing everyone in his white singlet and fat suit.
We could all kind of relate to him feeling embarrassed and kind of
Yeah.
weird about it because it's
throughout the entire shoot, he was aware that it was a uniform that held a lot of history and that it had a lot of weight to it. So he was always aware of that, and you know, throughout the entire shoot.
For sure. Guys, seriously, thank you for making such an incredibly beautiful film, and thank you for always making amazing work. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really good to
Thank
see you
you.
guys. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Nice
Thanks,
to
guys.
meet
That was
you.
fun. Thank you. Guys, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Obviously, because Taika plays Hitler in the film, I'd imagine there are a lot of moments off camera where you kind of had to be the director and kind of had to walk around and do directorial things while in the full-blown Hitler garb. Did you guys have any weird or surreal moments off camera where you needed to have an actual conversation with him and he's just dressed as Hitler?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, the first day I came on set, I was, I think, and Taika will say this, things were kind of running somewhat behind schedule. And so I think Taika sometimes had to kind of hold himself back and realise that he was dressed as Hitler. So whenever he would kind of get a little bit angry, people might get a little bit, a little bit freaked out by it. But yeah, he was great all the time in kind of knowing that that might be a little bit of a shocking image for people. So he was quite conscious of it as well.
I never had a scene with him where he was dressed as Hitler, but I do remember on my first day we were in a town square in Prague, which was dressed, you know, as the 1940s with the kind of swastika insignia and things, and people marching around dressed as German officers, and that is chilling when you're back in a place which did experience that in the 40s, and you are, even for a movie like this, which is irreverent and has a lot of humour, it's very kind of powerful to be in that situation.
And I was wondering too, because there are a lot of obviously like younger children in the film, and I was thinking about Roman and the fact that I think he's younger than I was whenever in school I learned about the Holocaust and Nazis and everything. Did they have to like pull any of these kids aside and say,
hey, here's what this is. Was there any kind of a crash course in history when it comes to a lot of the topics discussed in this movie?
Definitely not for me.
Well, my sense from talking to Roman is that whoever has educated him, and it may well be his parents, someone has definitely brought him up to speed on that. And he seemed to me very smart and informed on that period. Like you say, far more than I was at that time.
Yeah.
And I think he does have a great sort of, even if he doesn't understand all of the nuances of it, he does have a great sense of sort of what the message of the movie is.
Right. I think one of my favorite plot devices of a movie in many, many years is having Hitler as the imaginary friend.
Sure.
If you could have any figure from history be your imaginary friend and just follow you around and talk with, what figure from history would you like to have follow you around?
Oh, goodness me. Probably someone smart, or maybe someone practical, like Mr. T.
Oh!
Right, because Mr. T, I pity the fool who doesn't respect Mr. T.
Yes!
Because that guy, he can get anything done. You leave him in a shed with just some old battery parts and like a spanner, and that guy will build you, a barbecue.
Yes! Oh my God!
That's the guy I'd have.
That's the guy. Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Mr. T as well. I like Mr.
Sure,
T.
right?
Yeah, I'm stealing him.
Like I said,
I'm
Yes.
stealing him.
Now I want to be with both of you guys and have your two Mr. T's arguing with each other.
Well, that would be something. A
Yes.
Mr. T off.
Oh my God. I'll pitch it to Taika whenever I go and talk to him. Obviously, you guys have played characters over the course on television, over the course of multiple seasons and multiple episodes. The benefit being with a film, you have a finite amount of time to get to know someone. With a TV series, you have years and years and years. If you could play these characters over the course of multiple episodes, multiple seasons, what are some aspects of your character that you'd like to maybe get to know a little bit more?
Well, I wanted this Gestapo officer to although he's kind of absurd in many ways, he's also very chilling and scary, and that was the thing that I enjoyed the most, because I don't think I've played a villain before. And so that was quite an eye-opening thing. I'm trying to
Unless you're Carl
explore that.
Pilkington, in which case he
Right,
probably...
well, in that case, we're bullying a simpleton. But no, but generally speaking, I don't think I've played a villain. And so that was the sort of element that really intrigued me, that I could still be sort of amusing, but sort of turn on that creepiness and be scary. That was the thing I enjoyed.
I would say how I would like to sort of see more of how Captain K and Finkel ended up on the wrong side of things by circumstance, because they seem to kind of be in that situation, and also just seeing how those two ended up being so close.
Guys, seriously, thank you for continuously to make amazing projects. It makes my life so much easier whenever you guys make amazing shows.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Good to see you.
man.
Pleasure.
Nice one. Take care.